Hello everyone, have you ever stood at a crossroads, where your heart urged you to move forward but your mind kept questioning, do you have enough courage? I, Alex, experienced that feeling, when my love for Tana had to go through countless challenges, from family, society, to old wounds in her heart. The day I held hands with mother and daughter to return home, introducing them to my mother, that was truly a turning point. In Tana's eyes, I saw a mixture of anxiety and fragile hope. Love has never been easy, especially for a woman who has suffered so much. Will Tana have enough trust to enter my family, so that this time, happiness will truly smile? And most importantly, I want to hold a simple wedding, where Tana wears a pure white dress. At that time, I will not only be the groom, but also a happy man, because I can protect the two most important people in my life. The story is sure to have many more surprises and emotions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next chapters full of romance and intense moments between Alex and Tana. That afternoon, the bright sunlight from the porch cast a soft yellow light into the dining room. The little girl had fallen asleep long ago, leaving the quiet space with only me, Tana, and my mother. It was rare to have a private moment like this, a family meal, but it carried more hidden meanings than what it expressed. My mother arranged a simple meal, a bowl of sweet soup, a plate of braised fish, and some boiled vegetables with gingerfish sauce. These were familiar dishes for many years, but today I felt strangely warm, not because of the taste, but because Tana was sitting there, in my house, in the midst of family affection. I noticed that throughout the meal, my mother kept picking up food for Tana, sometimes a piece of golden, fatty fish, sometimes a handful of fresh green vegetables. While picking up, my mother smiled gently. You should eat a little more. You don't have to be shy in this house. Tana nodded slightly, but I could clearly see the confusion in his eyes. She was not used to being cared for like this, because, over the years, she had only been used to shouldering everything by herself. But then, I saw the corner of her lips smile slightly, perhaps for the first time in a long time. She felt the warmth of a real home. I looked over, my heart suddenly tightened. This woman, after so many storms, was now sitting right next to me, quietly eating each spoonful of rice that my mother had given her. In her eyes, the wariness was still there, but there was a bit of peace creeping in. My mother did not say much, just quietly observed. But that simple concern, picking up a piece of meat, adding a bowl of soup, was like a silent acknowledgement. I knew that, for a mother, those actions were more precious than 1,000 words. The atmosphere of the meal was peaceful, but my heart was in turmoil. I wanted to say something I had kept in my heart for so long, a desire that has been driving me all this time, hoping Tana will believe that this love is not just temporary, but a complete commitment. When the meal was almost over, I put my chopsticks down on the table, took a deep breath. Looking at Tana, my eyes became more determined than ever. I spoke slowly, clearly. Tana, do you want to go try on wedding dresses with me? As soon as I finished speaking, the space suddenly became silent. My mother, sitting next to me, gently raised her head, looked at me, then looked at Tana, her eyes sparkling as if there was something understanding. A gentle smile appeared on her lips. A smile of agreement. Tana was stunned. Her hands on her thighs trembled slightly, and her cheeks turned red. She looked at me, her eyes confused, hesitant, mixed with unspoken emotions. In that moment, I knew she was fighting with herself between the fears of the past and the new hope that was opening up. Tied in Pushka, let the silence speak, to let her know that this offer wasn't just a passing thought, but a promise, a commitment that I was ready to walk with her, and with her daughter, on a new, long, and steady path. Before Tana could respond, the phone in my pocket vibrated. The screen showed Adam's name, a close partner for many years. Feeling something was wrong, I quickly picked up the phone. Adam's voice was urgent and full of tension. Alex, the last batch of fruit ... was bombed. The whole truck had to turn back. The damage was severe. We have to meet right away. I was stunned. In that moment, the happiness that had just kindled with Tana was overshadowed by worries. I nodded slightly at her, then asked for permission to go out. In Tana's eyes, I read anxiety mixed with disappointment. That afternoon, Adam and I met at a familiar coffee shop. The atmosphere was tense. The profit and loss figures, the unfinished contracts, everything was like knives hanging over our heads. Adam scratched his head. If we don't turn things around in time, the whole project will collapse. But Alex, this could also be an opportunity. If we find a new direction. I clenched my fists. The wedding dress proposal still rang in my ears, without receiving an answer. Ahead was the fierce challenge of the business world. Behind was the budding love. I knew, from this moment on, I had to stand firm to protect both my career and the woman I loved. Sitting in front of Adam, I tried to discuss and outline ways to save the shipment that had just been bombed. But even though my mouth was talking about the contract, my mind could not concentrate. The image of Tana kept appearing, her eyes confused, her hands trembling slightly when she heard me suggesting the wedding dress. In that moment, I realized work can be solved tomorrow, but love cannot wait. A missed opportunity, maybe forever. I stood up, patted Adam's shoulder. We will find a way, but I need to go home now. The afternoon gradually fell. When I returned, the house radiated a strange peace. Entering the living room, I saw Tana sitting with her mother. In front of her was a plate of fresh, sweet fruit. The two of them chatted softly. Occasionally her mother would pick up a piece for her. The scene made my heart strangely warm. I approached and sat down next to her, looking at Tana. This time I did not hesitate. I placed my hand on hers, looked deeply into her eyes, and asked again, with all sincerity, Tana, do you want to go try on wedding dresses with me? The room suddenly fell silent. Tana lowered her head, silent for a long time. I clearly saw in her eyes, the past and the present were torn apart. But then, very slowly, she nodded. A bright smile lit up in me. Mom sat next to me and gently patted Tana's shoulder, like a silent blessing. And in that moment, I knew, no matter how many challenges lay ahead, we had together passed through the most important door, faith. The day finally arrived. I drove the whole family to the wedding dress shop, not just me and Tana, but also my mother and her little daughter. The wedding dress shop was brightly lit, the pure white dresses shining under the glass. I looked at Tana. She stood there, her eyes amazed at the array of gorgeous dresses, as if she had never thought she would one day set foot in this place. My mother smiled slightly, gently saying, "You try it on. Today is your day." The tailor gave Tana a few suitable dresses. The door to the fitting room closed. I sat outside with my mother, my heart filled with indescribable excitement. My mother put her hand on my shoulder, whispering, "You made the right choice, Alex. She deserves to be happy." The door opened. Tana walked out. At that moment, my heart stopped beating. She wore a pure white dress, the hem of the dress gently touching the ground, highlighting her gentle yet determined beauty. The little girl squealed and clapped her hands in her arms, and I suddenly stood up, unable to take my eyes off the woman in front of me. Tana lowered her head, her cheeks flushed, her voice trembling. "What do you think?" I stepped closer, gently, held her hand, my eyes unable to hide my emotions. "You are the bride I have always dreamed of. And today, I am even more certain. I want the three of us to become a real family." Tana looked up, her eyes glistening with tears. Beside her, my mother held the baby, smiling gently, a smile containing silent consent, as if giving us a blessing from the bottom of her heart. In that moment, I knew the dream of a complete family had taken another step forward, but ahead, the road was still long. Will we be able to maintain this happiness in the face of new challenges that await? Stay tuned for the next episodes.
Quê hương là bóng mẹ, dòng sông khúc hát xưa, cánh đồng thơm lúa mới, trăng vàng sáng sân thưa, nhớ về lòng chan chứa. Bye bye.